Just ahead on CTV News, Vice President Kamala Harris gives her closing arguments at the Ellipse last night.
It is a choice about whether we have a country rooted in freedom for every American or ruled by chaos and division.
Plus,
the woman accused of murdering her elderly mother is back in court today. I'm Katara Jones. I'll have all those details coming up on CTV News.
Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening, this is CTV News for October 30th. I'm Michaela Newton. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, Vice President Kamala Harris addressed a packed crowd near the White House last night, pledging to fight for the American people and urging voters to reject Donald Trump's divisive tactics. Now, just a week before Election Day, she made her case from the same spot where Trump incited the January 6th insurrection, highlighting her commitment to improving lives while contrasting it with Trump's self-serving motives.
Kamala Harris will be a president for all Americans. Let's elect Kamala Harris!
She also reminded the audience of Trump's role in the chaos of January 6th and emphasizing the importance of unity over division. And today marks the 6 days until the election, and the outcome has people concerned about their investments. But experts are warning consumers not to make any big moves with their money just yet. Barry Glassman, president of Glassman Wealth Services, says it might take a couple of days after the election to see how interest rates are affected based on presidential outcome. Now, Glassman advises people to keep other things in mind that can impact their 401k or stock portfolios. Meanwhile, U.S. District Court Judge James K. Bredar mentioned in a hearing on Tuesday that the first trial related to the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse is expected to begin in early 2026, with a lengthy discovery process and motions happening throughout most of next year. Now, when the trial begins, it'll mainly focus on the request from the owner and manager of the Dolly, the ship that hit the bridge, to limit their liability to $43 million. And a former University Park mayor has been arrested on child pornography charges. 46-year-old Joel Bierman is facing 28 charges related to the possession of child sexual abuse material and child porn. Now, Bierman was taken into custody Monday night following execution of an FBI search warrant. He served on the town council from June 2020 to 2022 before becoming mayor and serving in that role until this past June. He's being held on a no-bond status. And the trial continues of the county woman Candace Craig, who has been charged with killing her own mother last year. CTV's Katara Jones was inside the courtroom today, and we want to warn our viewers at home that some of the details you are about to hear may be upsetting.
That's right. This disturbing case involves Candace Craig. She is on trial for the murder of her 71-year-old mother, Margaret Craig. Prosecutors say Craig dismembered her mother's body with a chainsaw at their home in Landover back in May of 2023 and then tried to burn the body parts. Today, the lead detective in this case, Detective Brendan Taylor, took the stand. He revealed that Margaret Craig had a life insurance policy worth $14,000 and that Candace was the beneficiary. Later on, Dr. Pamela Ferreira took the stand. She is the assistant medical examiner. Dr. Ferreira says that she received the body parts of Margaret Craig in 9 bags in some paint cans. The state showed pictures of some of the body parts that her office received. She says that the paint cans had parts of a liver and body tissue. Dr. Ferreira also stated that through her examination of the body parts that it had heat exposure and that there were evidence of mechanical saw on the body parts. The state even showed a photo of Craig's skull that had tool markings on it. She also says that the victim, Margaret Craig, was already dead when her body was exposed to fire. Her findings also revealed that the dismemberment of Margaret Craig happened after she was already dead. Candace Craig's daughter, Celia Hardy, is expected to take the stand later today. Hardy has been accused of helping her mother, Candace Craig, cover up the murder of Margaret Craig. This trial is expected to continue tomorrow. Katara Jones, CTV News.
All right, Katara, thanks so much for that update. Meanwhile, Candace Craig has been charged with murder, evidence tampering, and improperly disposing of a body. Well, Prince George's police are investigating a fatal shooting in Chilham last night. Officers arrived at Highview Terrace, where they found a man suffering from gunshot wounds inside an apartment. He was later pronounced dead on the scene, and detectives are working to find a suspect and a motive in this case, but we will keep you updated as the story develops. And an elderly woman is saved tonight thanks to the Prince George's County Police and their high-tech helicopter called Guardian. After 72-year-old Gwyneth Borden wandered into dense woods Monday morning, the police's aviation team, equipped with a powerful thermal imaging camera, located her just as daylight was running out. Corporal Jessica Johnson says the team faced tough terrain and heavy tree cover, but found her just in time. Johnson says it's moments like these that make their work worth it, calling the successful rescue a miracle. Now, the aviation unit is considered one of the top 5 in the nation and regularly wins awards for its work. And it's been a couple of weeks since Maryland State Police broke up the agency's Internal Affairs Division, but at a virtual meeting with state legislators yesterday, officials with the department revealed little about why the agency made that decision. Secretary of State Police Roland Butler told lawmakers in Annapolis the agency thought it was best to start over completely after some concerns came to the department's attention. Now, Butler also told lawmakers that complaints from the public and police officers contributed to this decision. Now, officers that were part of the Internal Affairs Division have been reassigned to barracks across the state. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Michaela Newton. Still to come, a county council member recognizes Dr. Douglas E. Edwards and the work he's done in the community. We'll tell you how after the break.
When we have the food we need, we are at our best. We push further. We rise higher. We unlock our full potential. When we are at our best, we have more to offer the world around us. When we have the food we need, we make our communities stronger. Together, we can help everyone get the food they need to thrive. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. Thanks to your donations, we're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Welcome back. State officials are expected to approve over $300 million in dining service contracts for the University System of Maryland. The USM must receive approval from 3-member Board of Public Works for capital construction and service contracts, worth more than $1 million. Now, Renewal Options covers dining services dating back as far as 2018 for Bowie State University, Coppin State University, Towson University, the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, and the University of Maryland, Eastern Shore. And County State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy hosts her 7th annual Not One Domestic Violence Awareness event last night. Survivors of domestic violence and the color purple were highlighted in a fashion show this year. The Not One campaign means zero tolerance for not one act of domestic violence of any kind towards one another. Now, Braveboy launched the campaign after the tragic passing of her cousin, who was killed by her partner. And in a heartfelt celebration, Prince George's County Council member Crystal Oriatha is honoring Dr. Douglas E. Edwards with a special street sign naming ceremony. The event recognized Dr. Edwards' tireless work and dedication to the District 7 community that has spanned over 30 years.
I hope the mission of law will come back and do what.
And today's ceremony isn't just about a street sign, it's a tribute to Dr. Edwards' achievements and the lasting impact he has made in the community. And state officials are working to restore faith in how workplace bullying complaints from state employees are tracked. And this is according to Maryland Matters. Now, all new state employees are required to undergo anti-bullying training upon hiring. But according to state officials, complaints are not getting responses on their cases quickly, and in some cases exceeding 30 days. Now, between January and September, state employees filed 155 bullying complaints. Investigations sustained 17 of those complaints, and 24 others remain open. Now, state officials say changes have been made this year, including a new electronic tracking system for cases. And the Department of Transportation has a new set of airline refund rules now in effect. Passengers will now receive automatic refunds for delayed or canceled flights. And domestic flights delayed over 3 hours and international flights delayed over 6 hours will qualify for a full refund. Canceled flight refunds must now be completed within 7 days for credit card purchases and 20 days for other forms of payment. Now, other new rules include a checked bag fees refund if it doesn't arrive on time and reimbursements for non-working on-flight amenities. And the Department of Transportation is not only adding new refunds, but with the Federal Aviation Administration, wheelchair users will soon be able to fly in their own wheelchairs. The FAA expects to determine the feasibility of wheelchairs on flights by the end of next year. A Delta Airlines spokesperson confirmed the airline requested approval to install the seats, and according to DOT statistics, U.S. airlines damage or destroy an average of 10,000 to 15,000 wheelchairs each year. And still to come on CTV News, it's spooky season, and what better way to celebrate than with some creepy cocktails?
Well, if you haven't made your drink list yet, I am in the kitchen with mixologist Danielle, and she is showing us how to mix up some haunted Halloween drinks. Coming up next on CTV News.
My name's Stacy, I'm 57, and I was adopted in 2020.
We were adopted in 2019.
And we were adopted in 2021.
We had a house, and it sounds crazy, but it wasn't a home. The one thing that Jake and Emma brought is it became a home.
When I met Dakota, he had just turned 14.
You weren't there for the first this and the first that. I missed the first words, but we got a lot of other firsts.
Watching her say, oh my God, I cannot believe I got my license. And she's like, I passed. And I'm like, girl.
See them grow. It is.
They chose to love us. They didn't have to. They chose us. Family.
You and you.
Kids in the middle.
What I thought was a complete life was nowhere near complete, but it is now.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Got one of these hanging on the wall? You're qualified. One of these? You're qualified too. Love a good checklist? Qualified. 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 Yep, qualified.
Because if you know how to put up anything in your home,
You're qualified to save lives by installing free smoke alarms in your community. Go to soundthealarm.org to find a volunteer event near you.
Well, just a day away, we're serving up some spooky drink inspiration. Our Gina Barty is in the kitchen with Danielle Edwards from Beyond Happy Hour, showing us how to mix up some hauntingly good cocktails to get you in the Halloween spirit.
Can you believe it? Halloween is tomorrow. Can you believe that already? Wow. And of course, what is a good Halloween party without some really good haunted, spooky drinks? I'm up in the kitchen with my girl mixologist Danielle.
Hi.
Hi. So what are we going to be mixing up today?
So today we're going to be making two classic, well, my classic Halloween cocktails. The first one is going to be called the Autumn Teeny.
Autumn Teeny.
An Autumn Teeny.
Okay.
Yes. I called it the Autumn Teeny because it's going to have a lot of notes that you would taste in autumn, like apple, cinnamon, ginger, and we're going to use a reposado tequila because it has warm notes as well. Okay.
Terrific.
You ready to get started?
I'm ready to get started.
All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a martini glass and we're going to dip it in a little bit of sweetened lime juice, and we're gonna roll it in some cinnamon and brown sugar.
I want to make sure we get a shot of that, most definitely.
Yes, cinnamon and brown sugar, okay?
Oh,
All
nice,
right.
nice.
So we're gonna set that to the side, all right?
Okay.
Take my nice shaker, and I'm gonna fill her up with some ice.
So tell me, when you kind of start developing drinks, do you start with a base liquor, or do you start with maybe something that you're looking for a specific flavor or even maybe a specific color?
Well, color doesn't matter because you can always use food coloring without changing the taste of the cocktail.
Okay.
So I just added 2 ounces of the reposado tequila. I add a ½ ounce of my Rose's lime juice, and I'm gonna add a little bit of cold pressed apple cider. Okay, and nothing says Halloween and fall like apple cider. So yes, I like to develop my cocktails based on what the theme of the event is, or who I'm doing it for, and it's all about balancing your flavors. A little bit of citrus, a little bit of bitterness, a little bit of tart, a little bit of sweetness, and makes the perfect cocktail. Okay.
How long are you supposed to shake that?
So I teach my students to do a 12-count shake. So a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Therefore, once your tin starts to condensate, your drink should be at the proper temperature.
Okay.
All right? So we're gonna take that, and then we're gonna pour her right into our rimmed martini glass. Without the ice, right? Because we don't want ice in a martini.
Terrific,
okay?
Terrific.
Next thing we're gonna use is a little bit of ginger beer, okay?
Oh, I love ginger beer. Give it a little pizzazz.
Yeah. So we
that.
don't want to shake your cocktail with the carbonation. That's why we put ginger beer in last, because it can cause your canister to explode.
Okay.
Now we're gonna take a dehydrated apple.
Oh, you're getting a little fancy.
A little fancy.
Yeah.
Drop it right on in there. And for a little extra razzle dazzle, we're gonna put a piece of dry ice in there.
Isn't that great?
And voila, you have your Autumn Teeny.
Autumn Teeny. I'm gonna have to most definitely
now
try
be very cautious when you drink that. Make sure you do not drink the dry ice. So that's why I'm not a big fan of putting dry ice in cocktails. It does look very pretty, but it will change the flavor of the cocktail, and it is very dangerous if swallowed. So please exercise caution when you're drinking it. Okay.
So we have the Autumn Teeny. What's next?
The next drink we're gonna make is called the Boo Berry, all right? So we're gonna take a fancy little apparatus like this, and this cup's so cute.
The Boo Berry, you guys. I love the names. Now, are you coming up with these names yourself?
I did. Only thing is this
it.
cocktail doesn't have as much berries in it as I would like it to, but once you see it and once you taste it, it is absolutely amazing, okay?
Now, I notice you have a lot of, this is what we're gonna be making the blueberry with. Tell me about bitters and liquor. What bitters go better with certain liquors?
Well, if you're using something like a bourbon, a scotch, you actually want to use maybe an Angostura or a orange bitter. For this cocktail, because we're using vodka, our bittering agent is going to be a sweet and sour mix.
Okay.
So today we're going to use Kettle One.
Okay.
So we're going to do a nice
I'm a tequila girl,
pour.
so I'll pass that vodka drink on to somebody else.
Absolutely. And then we're going to do 1.5 ounces of peach schnapps, which is a peach flavored liqueur.
Ooh.
Okay. And then we're going to use 1/2 ounce of bitter.
Okay.
Because this is a sweet and sour, so we don't want to overload it too much.
Yeah.
All right? And we're going to give her a nice shake.
1, 2, 3, the 12 shake.
There's the 12-count shake.
The 12-count shake.
And we're going to strain this over fresh ice.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we want to use fresh ice
terrific,
with this
terrific.
one.
And
All
are you keeping the ice in the glass because it is a little bitter, a little sour, a little sweet?
No, it's just a personal preference.
Okay.
It's just a personal preference. And then I'm going to take some black raspberry liqueur, and I'm going to
color.
drizzle it, give it
Look
that
at
nice
that.
little spooky effect that we're
I
looking
love
for.
it.
Now, I am such a big fan of dehydrated fruits. So I dehydrated these Valencia oranges myself and the apples myself last night.
Nice.
So we're going to drop that in there with a maraschino cherry.
Presentation is everything, even with the drink.
Presentation is everything. People eat with their eyes first and they drink with their eyes first. So I am a big stickler on garnishes.
Well, here we go.
All right.
Well, cheers. Happy Halloween, everyone, and please be safe out there. Back to you in the studio.
Those drinks look so good. I mean, you have the autumn teeny and the blueberry. Which one would you try?
I think I'm going to have the autumn tea. I was definitely taking some mental notes. So I can definitely learn how to make that at home for sure.
Absolutely, I agree. All right, well, Simon Bucks is here with us for the Wednesday Sports Page.
That's right, Michaela. We have some awesome highlights in store for today. I'm really excited. Stay right there, sports fans, as I have a recap for you from the Laurel versus Blair High School girls soccer match that took place last night. Stay right there.
Why is just a starting line? For the true self blooms only when we find our purpose. What makes us tick? Below the surface. My why is diversity and unity, a safe space in my community. Living with sincerity, giving every day my everything. With my why, I stand strong, seen and supported all along. For some, their why is a summer under stars, memories and moments, connections near and far. Why is the before work hustle, an after school home, a section of my block, a corner to call my own. Our reason why is united, undivided, seeking understanding. Here, a handshake is a promise. All our hearts are dancing. Laughing is our song. It's kinship, friendship, tide rising with the ship. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why for a better us.
I'm the Big C. What is the Big C? I'm here to tell you about skin cancer. Skin cancer is the cancer you can see. If we see something new, changing, or unusual, that could be skin cancer.
Is there skin cancer on me right now?
I'm not a dermatologist, but you know who is?
Yeah.
Your dermatologist. You gotta get checked, girl. Do I? Yes! Everybody has to get checked. See the Big C today.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Hey there, sports fans. It's time for the Wednesday Sports Page. Now, soccer fans, go ahead and grab a seat as you're going to love these highlights. The playoffs were underway last night at Laurel High School as the girls' soccer team took the field against Blair High School. In the first period, Blair's offense wasted no time settling in as these two goals from the Lady Blazers played a part in the team scoring 5 in the period. Laurel struggled offensively in the first period as they weren't able to score any goals. But the Lady Spartans goalie did come up with a couple of nice saves to prevent more goals by Blair to give her squad a shot at a comeback. And Laurel went into the second period down 5-0 against Blair. Laurel's goalie tried her best to stop Blair in the second period, but the Lady Blazers offense just kept on coming and they scored even more goals. And the game ended early, and so did Laurel's season as they were shut out by Blair 8-0. The Lady Spartans finished the season at 10-2. And there were more girls soccer playoff action from around the county yesterday as Gwen Park fell to Henry Lackey 5-1. Sorasville got the dub against Friendly 5-1 also. And finally, CMIT North season came to a close as they were shut out by Chesapeake Science Point 2-0. Moving on to more high school sports, volleyball fans go out and support your local high schools tonight as the Lady Rams of Siouxland will travel to Annapolis High School to take on Annapolis. Fairmont Heights will host Potomac, and Northwestern will try and get the win on the road against Laurel. Siouxland and Annapolis took the court at 5, but first serve for the remainder of the games are at 6 o'clock. And the Baltimore Ravens added some depth to their wide receiver room as the team has traded for wideout Deontay Johnson. Johnson had been with the Carolina Panthers this season up until being traded to Charm City. The Toledo product has been very productive throughout his career. Since 2019, the Florida native is just one of 12 players with at least 420 receptions, 4,700 yards, and 28 receiving touchdowns. Throughout 7 games with Carolina, the former third-round pick and one-time Pro Bowler has also recorded 30 catches for 357 yards and 3 touchdowns. And wrapping up sports, the Washington Wizards exercised the third-year team option on guard and forward Bilal Coulibaly. The former first-round pick is currently averaging 16 points, 5 boards, and 3 assists for the team this season. And in his rookie campaign last year, the Frenchman ranked top 10 among rookies in total steals, rejections, and points and boards before suffering a season-ending injury. Coulibaly and the rest of the team will match up against the Atlanta Hawks tonight at 7 o'clock.
All right, Simon, thanks so much. Well, how do you feel about the Ravens trade for Deontay Johnson?
Well, Michaela, I think it was a pretty decent trade. He adds some depth to that wide receiver room. Like I said, he really helps spread out that passing offense. He's very good at catching passes that are near the sideline. You add Deontay Johnson to a wide receiver room that includes Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman, both guys who are on pace of having career seasons. This trade makes the offense that much more deadlier. I'm excited to see what he does in Baltimore this season.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Simon.
No problem.
All right, before we go, let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight will be partly cloudy. Tomorrow, Hall Queen night is going to be, mostly sunny. We'll have a high of 80 and a low of 65. Friday will have a high of 78, but showers are expected before 2 p.m. Saturday we'll be back to clear skies and a high of 63 and a low of 41. And for our community calendar, tomorrow night, the County Parks and Recreation Department is hosting the Great Pumpkin Fall Festival. So make sure you come out and enjoy an eventful and fun evening full of activities, games, prizes, and of course, lots of candy. This event is taking place at Harmony Hall Regional Center from 5 to 8 p.m. But for more information, contact 301-203-6040. And that's all the time we have. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.
See you tomorrow, everybody. Good night.
I'm a firefighter.
A teacher.
I'm a farmer. I'm a barber.
A waitress.
A mom.
We're all part of your community. Every day we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good,
others not so much.
But that's life. It's when you experience a moment of uncertainty. something or someone's behavior that doesn't seem quite right.
These are the moments to take a pause.
Because if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not.
It's not about paranoia
or being afraid.
It's about standing up and protecting our communities.
One detail at a time.
Because a lot of little details can become a pattern.
We
trust our instincts.
Just like you should.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.